You have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life. 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof, with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
All right, welcome into The Breeze. We are live on the brick and mortar. We just got done with our game across the pond there. The New York Jets, they had a chance, but they couldn't quite finish. They remain with a winless record. They now sit 0-6. But I am joined by Derek Pearson. Should be joined by Hosta Breezy shortly as well. But DP's down there in D.C. He was down there at College Park. He got to see the Huskers get a win on the road. DP, how's it going on a beautiful Sunday, at least here in Lincoln?
Oh, it is. You guys have the better weather. Absolutely. There's a northeaster. There's a full storm up and down the Atlantic seaboard. Tomorrow will probably be rougher than today. It was expected all weekend. Ideally, FedEx Field, Northwest Stadium is a little less under the weather tomorrow night than some of the surrounding areas. But I got the rain gear just in case. I'm not going to miss it. It's a tough day. It's cloudy, windy. It feels stormish here in DC today, but the sun shined bright for the Huskers in College Park, and it was funny. It matched the temperature of the game because as soon as the Huskers figured out a way to win, as soon as the stadium was empty, it poured. It absolutely poured. And all the Terps fans and Husker fans as well who got caught in the storm, they got soaking wet last night. Present company included. Got caught in the rain. But well worth it.
So what was the atmosphere like at College Park? It was interesting because watching it on TV, there would be some calls, like the referee would throw in a penalty and you would hear like everybody cheer because the Maryland fans thought they saw it going in their way and the Nebraska fans saw it going in their way. It was hard for me to tell what the ratio split was because it felt like no matter who was on the field, all you could hear was like positive cheers. But it did sound like there's a decent amount of Nebraska fans.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly was a decent amount. I think the number was somewhere around the vicinity of 10,000 Husker fans in the building on the side of the field. I can tell you that I have brought in, I know there are at least 40 DMV folks who are now Husker fans who participated in their first Husker football game from a distance, right? They've been following the Huskers via the ticket and myself. So they had an opportunity to witness Husker Nation in full. And the chants on the Husker side of the stadium behind the Husker bench, the Go Big Red chants were loud, full, and plentiful. So it was a. I mean, Matt Rule said that he thought it felt like a home game because there was certainly enough support, and they leaned on that crowd support yesterday. I've said all along that Maryland football is an enigma to me, and that I'm not sure that they get the support that they deserve. College Park is a unique location and new place, and I don't think that Maryland football fans give to it what is deserved for the quality of team that they play and the quality of players that they have. I don't think they support it, but Nebraska showed up in full. They were great before the game. They were great during the game, and then they were great after the game.
Yeah, and good point there. The Terps are good. I kind of noticed that when I was watching those guys. Washington, I mean, if he's got a clean pocket, and he showed it, yesterday, that was the first time we saw that secondary look kind of pedestrian. And not that the guys weren't giving effort. They still played good, keeping things in front, not giving over a lot over the top. But, you credit Malik Washington for dialing it up over and until that last drive. Unfortunately, he throws it behind the receiver. But I know me and everybody else that were Husker fans were getting pretty scared of Washington by the end of the game there, the way he was picking teams apart. With that being said, it does sound like, I'm assuming Hosta Breezy's got some technical difficulties on the laptop. So I think he called in. I think we got Hosta Breezy on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Hosta Breezy, how's it going on a Sunday?
Happy Sunday, Lincoln. It was pretty cool to travel to Lincoln, Nebraska yesterday for a football game.
Yeah, it is kind of the example of what happens when you travel around the Big Ten and people who aren't necessarily in football-induced heavens get introduced to Husker Nation. The number of Maryland fans who kept looking over their shoulder at the bellowing "Good Go Big Red" chants from numbers of people at a time. They were picking their way. It was pretty interesting to watch.
Well, Haas, I got DP's thoughts. Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts just on the whole atmosphere in the game.
Well, first of all, we've talked about it for a while. People from Nebraska are just completely different than people from the DMV. So I was talking to someone in line, and I was like, I'm guessing you're from Lincoln. She was like, yep. You guys are just made different. Just wholehearted, sweet people. I will say it was pretty cool to walk down to the amazing seats that DP got me, and someone was like, you're Haas. It's like, hey, that's pretty cool. That was fun to hear.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of that yesterday. As a matter of fact, there were. I counted 4 different times. Somebody asked me if you were in the stadium somewhere, because they wanted to seek you out. There's some folks. There's actually a guy that lives in my building, Mark, who his daughter apparently studies at the Mill on a regular basis, and they came up. They were at the game. They came up and said, hey, appreciate you guys being here. And then, where's Haas? So we figured, and I have to say this, that without getting too emotional about it, and I'll probably fail at it, shout out to Husker Nation, to Ticket fans.
Oh, man.
It's so good. Yeah. I mean, there were probably 40 people or so who have become Husker adjacent because of the ticket in a variety of ways. And the reception and the people who care and the people from Lincoln who went in for the game, specifically from Lincoln or the surrounding areas, and then who root for the Huskers and the ticket and the people on the ticket. And they were looking for Haas. They were looking for Barry. They took care of my little brother and his crew. So I can't be more open about being grateful and thankful for Husker Nation and their reception and welcoming and just being open-armed about it. So bravo to Husker Nation.
How about this? How about a little 8-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl born in Northern Virginia starting Go Big Red?
Raising them right, Haas. You'd love to see that.
Now, obviously, that being their first Husker game, they didn't realize the timing of it. Hey, maybe don't do it when Raiola's in the huddle and things like that. Maybe do it when Maryland's in the huddle, but it didn't matter. It was still really cool.
No, they got to learn just like everybody else, man. They got to trust me. They're lifelong Husker fans that still miss that part.
Yeah, well, what's really cool is turning, and there's these babies that are literally like 3 months old, 4 months old, with these massive ear protective gear on, and you could just tell 10, 15 years later, they'll just brag about, or their parents will brag about, you went to every Husker game. We traveled to Maryland. We traveled to Pennsylvania. We took you to every Maryland, every Husker game. And that in itself, the passion that is there for the Husker fans, being Husker strong, that was really cool. And let me say this, if anyone's going to hate on Raiola and how he threw, and maybe he's used to throwing the red jerseys, don't. Just stop. Being 5-1, being where you guys are at, being where we are at for Husker Nation, the aura, the momentum, all those things happen because you have Raiola there. So yes, he's a young man. He's still learning the craft. He's still developing himself as a quarterback. So I understand I didn't like those interceptions. I understand myself with saying, hey, let's run the ball a little bit more. But just stop if there's any hate, if there's any negativity, because without that guy, you're a 1-5 team. So Husker Nation, as much as you love football, make sure there's no hate when your quarterback has a little bit of a rough day.
Yeah, Harrison, that was a big part of the discussion, even in the press box, was some of those are young quarterback things. Some of those are new personnel things, and then the human element. I think you could have put one of those interceptions in new personnel on the field.
Yep.
On a route combination that you had run several times before and it had worked. Well, you put in a different player, and sometimes the adjustments aren't the same, or the reads aren't the same. The second was just a bad decision in that, quite frankly, thought just throw it. He should have thrown it to Haas Tabrizi, quite frankly, rather than trying to make a play. Right, just as he said in the postgame, I should have just thrown it to a fan. And then one's just mechanics. It's a mechanical thing that don't speed up yourself. It's a thing that Barry Thompson would have been in his ear about immediately in the space that, quite frankly, hey, bro, slow down. Let the mechanics work. Let the work that you've done work. But if you're going to talk about the throws that didn't go well, you have to talk about those 4 touchdowns against a legitimate Big Ten defense on the road to improve to 5-1. So you have to talk about them both. It's okay to talk about them both. But in a full celebratory mode, it's the last thing that you do in a game. And we talk about the finishing being the most important thing in all of sports because it is the most difficult thing. And this team, this program, that quarterback, and those coaches have figured out slightly how to get that done. And that has been a new thing to this program in recent years. The ability to finish and get out of a road win in the Big Ten is still a road win in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's major for this program because we got another one coming up right after. So it's good to get the first road win out of the way. You're going to Minnesota. You haven't had, any success under Matt Rule over there, or, some of the holdover years with Scott Frost and those players. But yeah, no, good point. Me and Raph and Haas, you're absolutely right. Me and Chris Raff were talking about this the other night is, don't be quarterback snobs anytime soon, especially here at the University of Nebraska. That was a on and off kind of day for Dylan Raiola. But to everybody's point, we won the game at the end, and he led down the field, and he had a great throw. And maybe the mechanics weren't working on those 3 picks, and he was speeding things up, but it worked on the last drive. On that last drive, he made sure his mechanics were clean, crisp, and it led us to a touchdown. Not giving Maryland, a ton of time left. Although they did have enough, then the defense steps up as well. So, you look across this team, the special teams are leaps and bounds better than what they were last year. The secondary, just due to more reps and experience, looks even more polished than they did last year. The offensive line, despite its problems, yesterday they only gave up 1 sack to a Maryland team who had a knack for getting to the quarterback and getting a lot of pressure. And even the run game yesterday, Evan Johnson, I think he had around 17 carries, close to 180 yards on the ground. So for all the things that we may want to nitpick at, there's so much there that was better than last year that this is a great win for the team. And again, that Maryland team, 4-1 heading into it, whoever won that game, we'll wait and see, is likely to be ranked. That is a good Maryland team, and that is a great win for Nebraska to do it on the road. So I just wanted to echo everything that Haas was saying because I heard some of those murmurs as well, even this morning on some of the text line. That's a great win for... All right, apparently it wasn't good enough for Haas, so we'll have to hold on the Allo VIP line. I'm assuming he's getting his laptop set up. But DP, just to wrap everything I was saying into a concise sentence here, it is a great win, and it was not an easy win. And Nebraska deserves all the credit for getting it done on the road.
Well, listening to Michael Locksley after the game, listening to the local media, talking to Johnny Holiday, of course, the Maryland great play-by-play voice for football and basketball, to listen to he and Lamont Jordan talk about that Maryland team is literally 2 plays from being 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think back to where Nebraska was a year ago, I think that's literally – and understand that Maryland has gone to bowl games in recent years, so that it's not like they're a barren desert. No, it hasn't been that. Their frustration is moving up to the next level and being consistent in it, but they are just a couple of plays. We would say that, quite frankly, Nebraska is one penalty flag and one great play away from being undefeated and then a whole different level of conversation. But the way the football gods work it out is Nebraska has the ability Friday night to go to Minneapolis and get something done in such a unique way that it could be program defining. And once again, for the fifth consecutive week, Nebraska will go into a game with the opportunity to choose a higher path, a higher road for this program and this team. And while we're not sure that they will be able to do that, we are certainly loving the idea that they can and that they put themselves in a position to do so. So big week coming up again, right? Another big week against PJ Fleck team that, Nebraska fans would like nothing better than for them to put a hole in the boat, right? Like let's row the boat, but you row it into a loss. Big opportunity for the Huskers Friday night on a short week in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's going to be the goal. I mean, to your point, you can row the boat, but if we, play well and that thing fills up with about 3 feet of water, it's not going anywhere. That thing's sinking. So that's going to be the goal. And, we could sit here and talk about how Minnesota doesn't look very good, but I'm so over that conversation. Just looking at all these scores across week to week, DP, it's absolute madness. So we're at a point, we should be at a point where Minnesota is the focus, and Minnesota is the focus until that clock hits zero. Because, Northwestern, Penn State, whatever you think about Penn State, all that talent's still there from last year. It's not like the talent disappeared with the loss to Oregon. It's there. So we can't, be looking ahead like, oh, that's an easier game now. If they decide to wake up, all that talent's there, and that's exactly what it was at the beginning of the year. A very, very tough game on the road. Same thing for Minnesota. I know they struggled to run the ball yesterday, but maybe that's a wake-up call for their linemen. And next week, that's a real point of emphasis because there's, I think 22 yards is what they finished with. That's going to stick with them, and they're going to hear a lot about that all week. And I do think we have Haas Tabrizi back in. I'll plug him in, but just to kind of wrap up on Minnesota and this game coming forward and all these Big Ten games, that's why that Maryland win is big, because these games are not guaranteed to win. So I don't care if it's Maryland, Northwestern, UCLA when they were 0-4, or UCLA now that they got 2 wins under their belt. You can't just ever expect to win and just kind of start circling in these W's as we've seen through the course of these weeks here. With that being said, Haas Tabrizi, I think we got you back on the Allo VIP line.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Haas. We were just talking about what's ahead for Nebraska football here, and really just the craziness of the entire college football weekend and how it's not a very good idea to be circling wins right now, just based on everything we've been seeing.
Yeah, no, the updates while in Sekou Stadium in Maryland to show Penn State, Northwestern, that was exciting. Not sure what's going to happen at Penn State now. Not sure if you talked about that, but hey, have you guys talked about Indiana?
No, this is the thing. I made a post yesterday that re-ranking the weekly rankings of the Big Ten Conference change and vary in full from week to week, and tomorrow's ranking of teams in the Big Ten is going to look entirely different for an entirely different group of reasons. We talk about Minnesota. Minnesota's going to go into that game at 4-2, and I don't know that they'll be favored against Nebraska. I don't know that they should be. 40. They had 30 yards rushing yesterday against Purdue, and if they perform offensively like they did yesterday, they won't beat Nebraska. Drake Lindsey was 21 of 45, and so not like he threw for a bunch. Not like they ran a bunch. They defended well. Devin Mockabee, Husker fans shudder at the idea of Devin Mockabee from Purdue running at them, but that's what they dealt with yesterday. So there's that. There's Indiana being a legitimate contender for college, not only for the playoffs, but to be a threat in the playoffs. You knocked off number 3. And mind you, the top 10 didn't have a good day. And there's not a lot of real consistency and trying to figure out, wait a minute, we're talking about Indiana and Texas Tech and Memphis as teams of note looking forward. So this is kind of what it is. Harrison and I have had many conversations, Haas, about slowing down the prognostication and the guesses, the predictions, because we didn't have data. We don't have data. I think preseason rankings are silly. I think they're unnecessary because you have zero data to back up. Nobody, you show me the experts that had this thing, had Penn State at 3-3, that had UCLA going on a 2-game win streak of any importance, that you can go through and go, okay, is this the way we saw the Big Ten Conference heading into next week? And you didn't, and it's okay to say you didn't, but it's frustrating to me that we spend so much time trying to predict rather than consume data. And the data wasn't available. We now have more data now about who the Huskers are, about who Ohio State is, about who Indiana is, about who Oregon is, than we've had before. And we will have more data next week, and the Big Ten Conference will look entirely different 7 days from now than it does today. We have to accept that I know we like the comfort of knowing. To quote the great Stephen R. Sipple, there's what we know, and then there's what we think we know.
Well, I think games obviously matter all year, but if you want data, what do you do in November? That really matters. We're not just talking about baseball. So that's one thing. I know this is a Nebraska station, but hey, is there a Brinks truck backing up for Cignetti there in Indiana?
I think there's a couple.
Yeah. And hey, well, Haas, it may be Happy Valley, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
It may be Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. It may be USC. It may be one of the big money factor folks who are trying to figure out, right? So,
you just said?
Say it again.
Who'd you say after USC?
Well, there's a full range, because any of the Texas schools that have just a ton of money, if Texas doesn't get the results that it feels like it deserves by being Texas, Texas A&M also back in the pool, that no matter what the result is, if it's not an SEC title, and I mean, think Alabama, Georgia are going to have some conversations. Tennessee is going to have some discussion. So everybody in the pool. Everybody, listen, I'm not sure that Madison, Wisconsin doesn't send a truck. So yeah, but it's also the thing that we have to sit back and let it play out, because I don't know, Indiana does pretty well about paying its basketball coaches because they win, or they were winning.
Indiana's going to pony up as much as they can muster, I'd imagine. I have a really hard time seeing, unless someone just completely outbids them. I mean, Indiana's got, it's not like Indiana doesn't have money. They put a lot of into basketball, but I mean, I'm hard pressed to think they're going to let somebody outbid them on Curt Cignetti. They're going to figure out, if they got to tax the citizens, they're going to figure out a way to get it done. Like, that man is a lot to that university right now. It's going to be interesting to watch, but if you're Indiana, you got to figure out a way to pull that money together to keep him.
So if they offer him $14 million in Indiana, let's just throw out that number, and Penn State offers 12 or 13, where should he go?
Well, I mean, but he's proven that money isn't the end-all, be-all great mover, right? I mean, this is a guy that coached at James Madison and said, I'm going to grow where I'm planted. And if you build a thing, you become more emotional to the thing. And there's a lot of value to being the king of Bloomington, Indiana, rather than putting yourself in Happy Valley when they don't know you like that. They don't know you or Indiana has become invested in him emotionally and otherwise. They're believers in their mind. I mean, this is a beginning of a 10-year run for Indiana football to never be the same again. So being the king of where you are is okay. I can't speak for Curt Cignetti, but from a coaching standpoint, I would say sometimes where you are is the right place.
Well, we got to get to break, but before we do so, I want to get to this text from John in Cortland, because he says it well. He says, Cignetti spoke straight facts before kickoff. He comes off as a dude that can just flat out coach. If he leaves Indiana, Hope he gets hired outside of the conference. I'm with you there. I don't want him to go move in conference. He's a problem in the Big Ten. Definitely a problem for Oregon in the last game. We got Hasta Breezy on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. But don't go anywhere. We still got 2 more segments on the other side. This is The Breeze.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Do you want boots that actually feel good on your feet? Meindl delivers premium German-engineered comfort, brought to you right here from Nebraska. Built tough for trails, fields, and everyday wear, and backed by Meindl's Comfort Promise, so you can try them on with confidence. Use promo code THETICKET at MeindlUSA.com, spelled MEINDL, for free shipping. That's MeindlUSA.com. Meindl, comfort you have to feel to believe.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze. There's on the ones and twos, and just some notes for everybody out there listening. We do have the volleyball postgame show later today, depending on how long this match takes. Currently, in the first set, Nebraska's leading it 24-22 over Purdue. And again, the volleyball postgame show, always joined by Mandy Monson. She will be joining us again this Sunday afternoon, and hopefully we can be talking about another Huskers win. We got some more text over the break here. We do got this one from Don. Well, all right, we can ask Haas Tabrizi his thoughts on it. We did talk about the Lincoln High game cancellation versus Millard South over the weekend. He wants to know, he's like, I heard DP and Harrison's thoughts on it. He wanted to hear Haas Tabrizi. So outsider looking in, Haas Tabrizi, we had a high school matchup between a Lincoln High team who was beat up, supposedly about 6 to 7 injuries on the starting lineup, a roster of about 37 kids, and they had to go against Millard South, a nationally ranked team who's been beating the best Class A teams 77-0, scores like that. Lincoln High ended up canceling the game. There's been criticism. Some say that they were just, doing it for the sake of protecting the players. Others are saying they should have just played it and pull your boots up by the bootstrap type of language. Haas Tabrizi, when it comes to stuff like that, I know it's a tough one from the DMV area to talk about Nebraska high school sports, but Don's a Breeze fan, so I want to get your point. Oh, so hold up, DP. I got you muted. My bad.
Okay, right. let me set the table for Haas Tabrizi in local speak so he could figure this out. Okay, so if you think last year, Hayfield High School,
yeah,
Hayfield High School, yeah. There you go. That's all
Nebraska.
That's all the
Hayfield High
setup
School
you need.
just changed all the rules for high school sports.
Okay, so yeah, that might be exactly what's going to happen. So you do know Haas. All right.
The answer is sports are a life lesson. When we coach sports, we're teaching life. So one of the shirts that we're going to make right now for the AAU organization that we have that's been around since 1979 is cultivating future leaders. Because if you go look worldwide, this person was part of the Olympics. This person's on NBC. This person's coaching Team USA and was a part of our Vogue's organization. This person, there's so many leaders that were developed under our tutelage. And so the message of you are not worthy, you are not equal, you do not deserve to be on the field with someone else. That is not the right message. You go and play the game. You bring up JV. You give them the experience. You see what fast is like. You see what completions are like at a 60-yard clip. You see what punt returns are like, and you go learn from it. And you learn, and you get better. And yeah, maybe you get a 99-0 whipping. But you don't quit. You show who you are. Sometimes you're going to have a really hard day in life. You're going to have a really hard day at work. You're going to have a really hard day anywhere. You don't quit. You move on to the next day. And so to send the message to say, we're not playing them, That's not the right message.
Okay, this is where the fork in the road is for Haas and I, because in the physical world that is high school football, especially the business that's going on in high school football, we have to remember that we are never to choose the game over the people. And to send high school kids out there to get hurt, and they're getting hurt, that 7 starters are down, and they don't have the numbers of a Millard South. So imagine it's Paul VI versus Wakefield, and Wakefield is valiant. They only have 40 players. 10 got hurt last week, or 7 got hurt last week. You got 33 players. Now, it was a vaunting task anyway, but to go out there and to have Paul VI put up numbers and put up tape, and to further injure the Wakefield players, that's not what this is for. Like the game itself, look, the competition, all those things, learn to fight, yeah, do all that, learn to compete, absolutely. But at what point is sending lambs to slaughter, especially when the table has been set for Millard South, who has recruited players and brought them in? They've pulled the best players from the area. They don't look like other Nebraska high school football teams, nor should they. And I don't fault them for that, but it is a statement about who they are, that they are a football factory. They're here to produce high-level football players, which, again, tells me a thing, but let's be careful, right? But I do not condone sending those kids and JV kids. The varsity kids may not have been good enough to be on the field with them anyway. So I'm not going to send the little brother out to fight the big brother's battle, shorthanded at that, without the big brother. You're asking a lot. If this was some other thing, okay, fine. But you're talking about football, high-level football, the highest level in the state of Nebraska, the best team in Nebraska. And if you send out JV players to play against those kids, you're not teaching them anything except for how to get hurt.
Can I ask a better question? Why are they on the schedule?
Limited number of schools. I mean, look, there's been ebb and flow. So if I said that W&L this year, being at Centerville's level, beating Westfield, was not the case 7 years ago. And they've learned
public schools.
Technically,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So it's Lake Braddock, and with the number of people in Fairfax, that part of Fairfax County, and the resources that have been put in place in Fairfax County, versus Falls Church. It equal but not equal, same but not equal. And if your son has a chance to play at Braddock in that system for the team that produces Division I football players, versus being at Falls Church where you're probably going to get kicked in the teeth, where do you send your kid? And you're not wrong in either choice. Mind you, I want freedom of choice. But I think it's okay for the administrators, the grown-ups, to say, I don't want to send my kids out there, my 140-pound JV running back and my 155-pound JV linebacker, to take on the 220-pound Division I running back or the 300-pound offensive guard. It's not the same. It's just not the same.
I'm not changing my answer because of DP. I understand the predicament because we play up in girls basketball, and when we play up in girls basketball, it turns into rugby and football. It's not basketball anymore. And there's a 100-pound difference, and it's rough. It's rough. It is hard to watch. My explanation to the ref when they want to get in a fight with me, and your boy Jason and I were going at it one time. He was reffing one of our games. It's like, dude, come on. Stop being lazy and calling jump balls for everything.
Well, but it's also Haas. You would say the thing that I've said to Harrison a million times when it comes to high school and collegiate sports. Listen, Mr. Official. Listen, grown up in the room. Protect the players. Protect my play.
And so what I was about to say was, Look, I understand you might have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. I have 12 kids. These are all my kids. These are all my children. I care about them all, and the way you're officiating is putting them in harm. I've said that to refs. And then
That I know to be true, and that's why I said that sometimes, as a parent, as the adult in the room, as an official, you simply say it is okay to say this game should not be played right now between these two programs, and I think it's just that simple. Now it will lead to evaluating other aspects of this recruiting on in the high school program, right? Hayfield paying players to change districts, paying the rent of parents, paying phone bills, paying expenses, pulling in the best players from the region so that it's not fair and equitable. There's no community to that. You're not playing with your friend, the person you grew up with, within systems that you know. It is simply about the business of high school sports, and specifically high-level high school football, that when you talk about the business, you have to say some people are raising young people and some people are doing business. And you have to, sometimes when they meet, you have to say, I'm going to protect the kids because they deserve it.
No, you're spot on. I mean, I will say this, when we coach and there's teams that are out there that are just playing down, using wrong birth certificates. There's a 6'4" girl that says she's in 4th grade and she looked like she drove there. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Like, what are you doing? So doing things to just win, doing things to make money, doing things to get your name out there. Like, if you're a guy with a mustache and you say you're 10 years old, just stop it. Just stop it. But
Yeah.
Hey, I know we're going to go to commercial soon. I want to know this. Did you have a chance to watch Cena and your boy?
Yeah. Let me say that, and you know me well enough to know that quite frankly, we want it done right? We want it right. And this is the first time. Hoss, I need for you to put your hand up against the screen, up to the screen, so we can high five the fact that we're gonna see Cena's last match together. Like, that's a big moment. That's a big moment that we're gonna be in DC and see that. So, but here's the thing.
So hear this out, Lincoln. There's 6 seats that DP hooked up for going to John Cena's final match in Washington, D.C. And let's make sure you understand. If you watched Perth and you watched how loud they were for John Cena and how appreciative they were for John Cena and all the things that Cena and AJ Styles did for the fans, this was the match of the year, the match of the decade, and that's not even his final match. It's not even his final match. And the Tabrizi family and DP, so just the DP Tabrizi family together, because we're family, are going to the final match in Washington, D.C. with John Cena. And the way it's set up is Hoss and DP get some slightly nicer seats than the other 4, and that's okay because they get to be in the arena and they get to witness John Cena's last match. And we get to figure out, are there going to be yes kicks? Is there going to be a Stone Cold Stunner? Is there going to be a rock bottom? Is there going to be an F5? What moves are there going to be? Is there going to be a concerto? And please, for the love of God, can it be a surprise final opponent and not be Gunther? Can it be Edge? Can it please be Edge? Please.
I don't know. Could it be Kurt Angle?
So I asked, has he done an ankle? Okay, first of all, you know how old we're getting when we don't remember things, but I asked my kids, I was like, hey, has he faced CM Punk yet? Yeah, he faced him twice this year. Has he faced Randy Orton? Yes, in St. Louis. Has he done an angle slam yet? Yes, he did an angle slam at this page. I'm like, dang, my kids know everything. Like, they remember it all.
It can only be here's where I landed yesterday. But after that epic match, that incredible tribute to pro wrestling in the WWE, and you're right, it's the match of the year. Nothing will come close to that. That's how good that match was. But the only person who could deliver that sort of final curtain is RKO.
Right.
And that's the only way it can finish.
Right.
It has to be RKO putting him to sleep, ending the career. some clip of them back in the minors together, right? It's
That's
the
his
only
number one rival.
It's the only thing that can happen. Now you can tell me that it's Lesnar, but I think you previewed that. You missed that opportunity. But RKO, one final RKO for the road. Randy leaves. He pays tribute to Cena. He leaves. Cena recovers, regroups, stands in the middle of Capital One Arena, and I, and the Tabuji family and our family of 20,000 that night, we will yell, cheer, and clap like our life depended on it. I'm looking forward to it.
Harrison, you can do your thing, and then when we come back, I'll tell you the story that Michael Tabrizi said should happen. So go ahead, Harrison.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln Families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Calling all caffeinated Husker fans. Looking to boost your energy and focus? Caffeine alone won't do the trick. Enter Cranium Energy Drinks based out of Fremont, Nebraska, founded by lifelong Husker fans. Cranium is more than just caffeine. Every can has highly dosed nootropics that help boost mental clarity, paired with 150 milligrams of natural caffeine to provide smooth, long-lasting energy, as well as enhanced focus. Find it at Hy-Vee Health Markets in Nebraska and Council Bluffs, as well as select gas stations and supplement stores. Or purchase online at drinkcranium.com, spelled with a Y after the I. Enter code EARLYBREAK for 10% off your order.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q. Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Do
Do you want boots that actually feel good on your feet? Meindl delivers premium German-engineered comfort, brought to you right here from Nebraska. Built tough for trails, fields, and everyday wear, and backed by Meindl's Comfort Promise, so you can try them on with confidence. Use promo code THETICKET at MeindlUSA.com, spelled MEINDL, for free shipping. That's MeindlUSA.com. Meindl, comfort you have to feel to believe.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in the final segment of The Breeze. Harrison Arthur, the ones and twos back in Lincoln. You guys both down in the DMV area. And you guys can always join in, 402-464-5685. And again, we will have the volleyball postgame show later today. And currently, it is set number 2. Nebraska won the first set, and they're currently in the second set, leading at 18-13. All right, House to Breezy, the floor is yours. We got about 3-4 minutes left here.
It's the DMVL, by the way, DMVL, because it's the Lincoln of the East, with all of those Husker fans walking around Maryland yesterday, not realizing what those smells were and things that they weren't used to in Lincoln, Nebraska. But okay, listen. Michael Tabrizi has a beautiful idea, and let me before I say his beautiful idea, DP, were you emotional at all? Did you have a little bit of a tear watching John Cena being announced in Perth, knowing that we are going to be right there in 6-8 weeks to feel it ourselves? Like, I was getting all the feels just seeing the introductions for Cena, AJ Styles yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it really was interesting, right? Because you know that there's only, going in yesterday, there were 5 more Cena appearances. And that we forget as fans how many moments these performers create for us. How many events, how many evenings, how many lessons, how many stories we forget. So then when they make you slow down and pause to the fact that we won't have it again. I went through this with Flair. I went through this with Shawn Michaels, and you just go, wow, it's thing. So being in the room is going to be different. Like, the build up will be different. The feeling that night will be different. We'll watch a little different. We'll cheer a little different. And we'll walk a little different that day. Like, it's one of the things I say to Becky. I apologize in advance. I'm going to spend some money that night. like, hey, don't be surprised by that one. There's a Cena belt coming. You know what I mean? Like that.
That spinner belt was so lame 20 years ago. Not anymore.
Hey man, you couldn't give it to me. You couldn't give it to me 20 years ago. I will fight you for it. That night in Capital One Arena.
So what Michael Tabrizi said was, what needs to happen is Edge needs to come back and beat Dom Mysterio for the Intercontinental belt, and then Cena, Edge for the Intercontinental belt as the final match, and let Cena get his 4th belt, his Grand Slam championship, and do it over Edge. Now, if they don't do it over Edge, maybe we riot. It better not be Gunther. I said a long time ago. What?
It may be Gunther.
We're gonna get Gunther again on a retirement match on Saturday Night
who
Main
take
Event.
no, but the lead up will be whoever takes one of those straps from Dom that you do not leave. It's one of two. Either he leaves with a strap, right? Which sets up a beautiful tournament for that strap. No matter what he's done, that'll be part of the legacy. You could name it the Cena Trophy, the way they did with the Andre the Giant, right? You can do that sort of thing. Or it's Orton finishing him. You could have won with Lesnar in an F5 had you not previewed it. You've already shown it. So now I think the proper way, the correct way. And unless you're really just gonna go to the wall, right? If you really want the perfect final opponent,
Shawn Michaels,
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
For one night.
Oh my gosh.
For one night.
Oh my gosh.
Give me Dwayne for one night. Listen, if you're gonna do that, right? Give me that. Well, you built it up. You built it up.
That will fix
you
everything.
have a month. You have that's the perfect closure to me would be Rock versus Cena.
Just don't get injured between now and then, please. My seats are so good.
All right, we got to get out. Those guys are probably active on Twitter if you want to see their shenanigans while they're down there watching it live. DP's also going to be down there for Commanders, Bears, and I'm okay not talking about that one on today's show. Don't go anywhere, though.
Go Big Red.
That's crazy. Derek Pearson, Harrison Arns.
.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with